Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video of the 12th episode of the one and only season of Automan called Death by Design. Last time we saw some burglars stealing a ring that contained a computer chip that was wanted by the mob. We discovered that the chip contained the details of people's identities on the witness protection plan. The burglars were using their jobs at a male exotic dancing club to find their targets to burgle. Automan, of course, went undercover as a dancer in the club to find out more information about the robberies. Walter was mistaken for one of the burglars by the mob trying to find the ring, and they took him to the club to locate it, where Automan used some of his electric charge to incapacitate the mob boss. So let's see what happens in this episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'll be discussing what happened and my thoughts about it. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1. On a stakeout.
Automan.
Good job it didn't pop out when Jack was getting the coffees. So there's a fashion place, Sylvania Fashions.
Go on in. I'll be listening.
Death by Design is the name of the episode.
Don't you worry.
I have a feeling that policeman's about to get killed. Sylvana Fashions.
Why don't you clean up later? I think I'll clean up now.
Sasim.
Jack, I'm hit.
I would have thought you'd have heard the and the running down the stairs. That would have prompted me to go and check. Okay, so this guy turned up in a taxi, put on a disguise, and now he's leaving in a maintenance van which fits his disguise. So is he just stealing it because it was there, or was it left there on purpose for him to take? And the fact this episode is called Death by Design and this happened in a fashion place means makes me think it's all kind of linked into this murder in this particular place. It's not like he's an assassin that we're following, killing lots of different people. So does he know? Well, I'm sure he doesn't know the person he killed, because the guy he killed didn't seem to recognise him, although he was in disguise. But he does seem like a professional killer. The fact that he's got his gun and a silencer and everything, and he's in disguise. So yeah, not quite sure what's going on yet. He's dead.
Now, Jack, you cannot blame yourself for this thing. Besides, we've got a new reporter hanging around out here. Be glad to do it for you.
I'm Tom Schultz, the new crime reporter from the Chronicle. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Swell.
Yeah. So the press have free access to the main room like that?
When the police have a double murderer under their noses and they let him escape, that's not fair to the public, now is it?
Would they let him be in there? I mean, look at the... If they're all trying to obviously work on their cases, having him in there riling people up and acting like he's acting, that's not going to help. They wouldn't... obviously, freedom of the press is obviously an important thing, especially in America. It's in the Constitution. But they wouldn't have free reign like that in the main room where they're all working. That's weird. Is he involved in this, or is him just being there part of the story? Is that reporter going to snoop around and see Automan?
I want you to find out everything you can about a syndicate assassin named LeBlanc. He's the man that Lieutenant Curtis and his friend were tailing.
The lieutenant's on his way.
Or just fade away. Go and research like Walter asked you to.
We know the killer is a guy named LeBlanc. It's a question of finding him.
Well, where are you off to?
I'm going to talk to the partner of the man who was killed. LeBlanc is not an amateur. He's a hired gun. I'm going to find out who hired him.
Silvana had to be eliminated. Our money turned him into a multi-millionaire, and he refused to share the profits. Within a matter of days, I'm going to have Oster installed as a full partner in Silvana Fashions. You'll have a controlling interest of one of the hottest companies in the business. I'll stake my reputation on it.
I think you're staking your life on it.
Tracy Morgan? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to frighten you.
That's really wrong, though, grabbing someone like that. That wouldn't happen these days. So she's the business partner of the guy who got killed, I think. So she's one of the owners of the fashion company.
About 3 years ago, when the company was still just struggling,
They had an investment from the mob.
Joe borrowed some money
Right.
from a man named Simon Rafferty. All paid back, with interest.
But that wasn't the end of it.
No.
As soon as we really hit big, he came back. He said that we owed him half the business.
You realize that with your partner gone, I may be back to make the same proposition to you, don't you? I'll arrange some police protection for you.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant.
The help of a
Really, that
professional
won't be necessary.
killer.
My grandfather had a little factory in New York until he was burned out by gangsters. And he made my father swear that he would never give in to those people. And I made the same promise.
Having police protection doesn't mean you're giving in. The opposite. So are they a couple or not?
I really have grown quite fond of you.
I know. But you don't want romance to get in the way of our friendship.
I don't want our friendship to get in the way of romance.
Blimey.
Do you have any idea what you've just missed out on?
Yes. Turn him off.
Keep away from me.
I think it's about time you and I got acquainted.
It's ridiculous that she hasn't at least got security, if not have the police there to protect her. It was obvious something was going to happen. Are we going to see Automan come in as a partner, or a fake partner, to distract the mob from her? I suspect we might.
What do you think you're doing?
Consider this a warning. Next time, we take off the gloves.
I mean, as far as damage goes, that was just a line drawing, and you could still see the drawing underneath that paint, whatever they poured on it. In about a minute, she could easily redraw it, copying it onto another bit of paper. So that wasn't much of a threat.
I think it's for you.
Thank you, Kelly. You're a dear. LeBlanc just charged his dinner at a restaurant called the Peacock's Lair,
Oh, that's only a couple miles from here.
which is no time at all in the autocar.
Good, let's move it.
Yeah, but they'd be long gone. You only pay at the end when you're leaving. The time it would have taken for the information to get to the credit card company, and then for the computer to ring them, and then for them to get there.
That's him. That's LeBlanc. I recognize him from the file I scanned.
Hold it, police officer! You're under arrest!
Oh!
That footage was reused from a previous episode. I think the pilot episode.
He's getting away!
No, he's not.
As was that.
He'll never make that turn.
As was that. It's all reused footage.
Go ahead. Do the world a favor.
That's not good that he made the arrest. I know Wally was there, he'll say he did, but...
I believe you don't know it, Jeffries.
Let's just dispense with the formalities. Somebody tell me why all the charges were dropped against LeBlanc.
Insufficient evidence.
Oh, come on!
Oh, come on, me, Lieutenant.
But the lieutenant here saw LeBlanc go into the building. A couple of minutes later, Silvana was dead. So was the cop who
but not
followed LeBlanc
kill
into the
him.
building.
You have enough to hold him, though, to try and build the case. to release him so quick, that's not realistic. Because they know he did it. They just need to try and prove it. So they would have. I think there is certainly enough evidence to warrant detention for investigation purposes. But I agreed, at the moment there's not enough to prosecute from what we've seen.
My name is Jack Curtis. Jack Curtis. I want you to remember it.
Ooh, it's a bit risky.
Don't be a sore loser, Curtis.
Oh, that's not good. And the reporter saw it all.
They're slapping a restraining order on you. You are now prevented from any further investigation in this case.
They can't do that.
Yeah, they can. He assaulted him. Doesn't mean the police force can't investigate the guy, though. It just means that Jack specifically, can't do it. So, yeah, that all makes sense.
What if we could convince LeBlanc that there was somebody, like a vigilante, who was going to give him his comeuppance? That he had two choices. One, die at the hands of this guy, or two, come clean with the police. Plant some phony crime records onto the log, and that snoopy reporter would pick up on them and they'd find their way into the news. Because they'll all be people in exactly his situation. Then for good measure, we could plant some rumors through our informants that the next target would be LeBlanc in this murder spree.
So where are all the bodies?
In the computer. I can even make it so the coroner's office computer will verify the deaths.
Is that legal? I suppose it doesn't need to be legal as such. Just need to keep it quiet. Because the aim is to get the assassin to come into the police and admit to the crimes voluntarily. So, it's a hell of a long shot, though, isn't it, as an idea? So Automan's not going to go in as an undercover partner in that company. He's going to be the guy out for justice.
Lester Cullion, reputed extortionist murderer.
Why would... I really don't understand how this reporter's got such free access to the police station like this. And he's leaking information. Again, I know it's freedom of the press, but there's freedom of the press and there's causing harm to cases and leaking information that shouldn't be leaked.
Listen, wise guy, I come in here every morning and park my rear end on a powder keg of anarchy and violence. You want to know what my reaction is? It nauseates me.
Tell me something. You wouldn't be covering...
Welcome to Los Angeles.
Curtis now, would you?
No.
Oh, what? So he thinks that Curtis is the vigilante?
Oh, good. It really was. Yes, I think so.
He is kind of invincible, isn't he? Now the bullet's going through him, so he just got attacked. Blows don't hurt him. I mean, he doesn't feel pain or anything, so yeah. He's got immense strength. He threw those guys around. But the bullets then, did they go through him or do they just go into him and stop? Because if they go through him, his partner was... Oh, actually no, his partner's there in the background. I thought his partner was behind him. But even so, the bullets are still going through him and who knows what they're hitting behind Automan. But yeah, he's actually quite invincible, really, as a crime fighter, for using the word that they use. He is quite good in this kind of circumstance, in a hand-to-hand combat situation.
The more Rafferty tries to force me into doing business with him, the tougher my resistance gets.
Yeah, you say that because he was there to stop them this time.
That there's nothing you're afraid of.
Well, that's not true. There is one thing.
Power cuts.
A power failure.
That reporter suspects the vigilante killer is Jack.
Ah, he does think it's Jack.
It is if the people we're trying to intimidate begin to think so, too.
They'll go after Jack first.
We've got to divert attention away from Lieutenant Curtis and toward you. I've
How?
programmed an entire history for you with the Portland Police Department. If Rafferty or his men do any checking, they're going to find out that you were Nate Hester's partner. Your nickname on the force was Mad Dog.
That's a lot of ifs and buts, though. It's reliant on them accessing that system and finding out about him. I mean, it's a bit tenuous of a link, especially when they've kind of already had the newspaper jacks thrown at them.
I have already slapped around Rafferty's goons.
True.
Would have trouble believing I was the cop who's gone vengeance crazy.
Well, that's true as well.
Look, we certainly can't take time now for newspaper stories or word of mouth. We've got to go directly to Rafferty and scare the living daylights out of him.
Yeah. You got to jam it down their throats. Magnum. Really high caliber firearm. I mean, it's like, I think they call it a hand cannon, don't they? They literally blow a hole in someone. That's the long barrel, I think. It just allows the bullet to travel faster, if I remember rightly. So yeah, just I don't think it's got a much more powerful bullet in it as well. More the size of the bullet and the amount of gunpowder used in it to propel it. So yeah, it's a powerful weapon.
Have you seen the afternoon paper?
Those vigilante killings?
The talk around town is that LeBlanc is his next target.
That's no great loss. I've got to be sure she knows she's a dead woman if she doesn't play along. And there's only one man I can count on to drive the point home. Hello, LeBlanc. I'm going to be needing you again after all.
So why was he saying that it's no great loss if he's killed a minute ago if he needs him?
It's fine from here. Don't worry.
Glad to help, Miss Morgan.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
So they're leaving her. I'm sorry, but anyone who's so cavalier with their life when their partner's been killed, murdered, she's been attacked twice, and she's still being so ridiculously cavalier with everything. I don't have much sympathy for her, to be honest. Take the help you've been offered multiple times.
As nasty as the slime we're up against.
Hey, Otto. It's me, remember? Why don't you save your act for when there's an audience?
That's the thing. Is it an act, or has he taken on that persona and he will act in that persona? In which case, that's kind of going to go against his programming, I would have thought. So, a bit confusing about how he can be like that.
Police officers. Are you Woodrow Oster?
That's right. What did I do? Commit some crime? Well, what is it you want?
Simple. Mad Dog here would like you to take him to see Simon Rafferty.
Oh, come. Don't you know gambling's illegal? I don't know what you're talking about. Now get off my corner. Now that's what I call rude.
Well, he's obviously not going to be dead, but I don't understand what... Not quite sure how that worked, but I assume the gun went off, the mind would play tricks and your reaction would be probably to jerk backwards, thinking you've been shot, and then Cursor drew blood on him. Seemed weird, but okay.
I thought we were going to see Rafferty.
We're going to make a phone call first.
No. You're going to call LeBlanc and have him meet us there.
Go on. Call my bluff.
I'm assuming he can't say "make my day" for copyright reasons. So LeBlanc's going to turn up with the girl.
It's Mad Dog, cop from Portland. He just blew Ernie away because he didn't like his looks.
It's a hideous house. Horrible room.
Mad Dog doesn't play by the rules.
Sure I do.
My rules.
Only they're my rules. Welcome to the party.
Thank God.
It wasn't my idea, I swear it. This guy hired me.
Who hired you?
Rafferty. He couldn't get Silvana to sell him his company, so he paid me to off him.
We're all going for a little ride downtown.
That wasn't part of the deal.
None of this is going to be admissible.
Everyone stay where you are.
They bodged that up pretty well.
In that closet.
Get in there.
Going to shock it to melt the lock. even so, you could probably two of them could probably elbow their shoulder their way out to that closet. Are they going to do the old generate something in front of the car, make it stop trick?
I'm not sure which way they went.
I think we need a bird's eye view.
Yeah, helicopter.
Right. Up and away.
That does make sense. A couple of seconds up in the air, they'll be able to see the car in the distance.
You've seen lasers. Now I'll show you what a hologram can do.
Well, that's a bit risky with her in the car. You could not that they would hit the car, but you could force him to swerve off and have an accident. And that's going to be draining his Automan's power. Exactly, yeah, and she died for head injuries. So that's a really dangerous thing for them to have done. Yeah, luckily she's okay, but they're not wearing seatbelts. That would probably seriously have injured her.
You sure you want to confess?
Absolutely.
I guess it's just not my day.
Play on words on it.
What is it, Joe?
Well, I just wanted to offer my congratulations. Just got word from the DA's office that LeBlanc and Rafferty are pleading guilty to the murders.
Surprised they pled guilty. I mean, they've got the support of a mob boss and probably mob lawyers. If they'd pled not guilty, they might have had a chance to get away with it. I know they probably only as far as the story is concerned, they pled guilty because they didn't want to be killed by Automan, or well, whoever they think he is, that police officer with a grudge. But it doesn't make sense.
Something tells me there's more to you than meets the eye.
If I were you, I'd make sure I had the facts before I started pointing fingers.
One way or the other, I'll get all the facts. And when I do, you better run for cover.
See, this is what I've said in previous episodes. A little bit of investigation, they discover that he's not an FBI agent. He's a reporter, and he's gonna, if he thinks that he is a big story, he's gonna try and dig up all the information he can on FBI agent Automan, and very quickly and easily he will find out that it's not him, and he doesn't exist. So there's one episode left after this one, so I don't know whether this was he'll follow on into the next episode and sort of identify in Automan, and in some ways I hope that does happen, that he does carry on, adds an extra bit of depth to the stories, that he he's been investigated and might be found out. But no, well, let's see what happens at the end of this one, and then we'll see in the next one.
Come on, I'd say we had some celebrating to do.
Right.
You coming?
Just as soon as the streets are safe.
I'd be turning him off. So yeah, I mean, the way it's been left, it does look like that reporter's going to be investigating and carrying on. So we'll see in the last episode. I don't know whether the last episode was planned as the last episode, so I don't know if it ends on a cliffhanger. Unlikely. They didn't really do cliffhangers like that back then. Or at least building up the story a bit so that there could be more. It's not going to be wrapped up, I wouldn't have thought. I don't know how it could be wrapped up, actually. I don't know what the ending would be for a show like this. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see the reporter carrying on in the show, and if the show had carried on more episodes, having him there in the background might have been useful. It was an alright episode, not the worst. There's an awful lot of mob activity in Los Angeles, according to this show. They got their fingers in lots of pies, haven't they? And Automan's always there to stop them. You think they'd have worked out that something's going on and taken them out by now, but yeah, it was interesting. As always, huge plot holes, but it's that kind of show. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments below, and I shall see you for the next and last episode. Be seeing you.